Hey guys, welcome back to Fixitphillip. Thanks for watching. Today we have a 2003 Chrysler Sebring convertible. It's making a bunch of crazy clunky noises in the rear. So we're gonna fix that today. I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. So I'm gonna go in the back here and behind the seat. I'm gonna pull this matting out of the way. And there's the top of the strut itself. So I'm gonna leave the camera here. I'm gonna push the back of the car up and down so you can see what's going on. So all the bushings are just rotted and gone on the top of the upper strut mount. So we're gonna take the strut out and replace these bushings. So this is the passenger side. It's a 15mm nut. We'll do the same thing for the driver's side. We're going to remove the strut. Okay, the top of the strut here, the fender well has these little plastic clips. So we're going to take these off. Okay, and then we got this brake line bracket that's connected to the strut. There's a 10mm bolt here, so we're going to take that off. Okay, and then we have a 15mm bolt for the bottom of the strut. We're going to remove that as well. This nut has a tab on it to hold it in place. Just gonna use a pull. You can use a long pry bar to kind of pull down on the lower control arm, so you can wiggle this bolt out. Okay, so the brake line's disconnected, the lower bolt for the strut's disconnected, and the two nuts on top inside the vehicle are disconnected. So I'm just gonna use this pry bar and pry down on the control arms a little bit and push it out from the bottom. And get this strut out of here. And there it is. Okay, so I'm gonna use this strut spring compressor tool to compress the spring a little bit so I can take off the upper strut mount. Okay, make sure you get kind of a mental note of how it aligns on this one. The two bottom mounting spots here line up same flush with this one on the top. Okay, now we can take off this 15mm nut for the strut. If you use a socket, this whole stud will just spin. So I normally just get some vice grips, use a ratcheting wrench. Here's a nut, the washer, another washer, and here's what used to be the bushings, or the top bushing. Looks like somebody actually added a whole bunch of washers before to try to compensate for the clunking, but obviously didn't fix it. First it's the dust boot, then a washer, and then underneath here the bushing with the little groove here at the very end. It's going to sit right in here. Then we have this center stud here. It goes like that. And then the curved washer is going to go on top. Okay. Just tighten it all the way down till it stops. And make sure you get your strut lined back up the way it's supposed to be. So whether you're doing this job and changing the whole upper strut mount or the strut itself or just the bushings, you can use this procedure. The customer is aware that everything else is pretty old and pretty worn, but he just wants to do the bushings for now, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so now there's bushings there and it won't clunk anymore. So now we can put it back on. Okay, here we go, back in. And we'll pry it back down again to get the bottom back onto the spindle. And get this bolt back in the bottom. Okay, I'm just gonna put this nut on the back and tighten up the bottom. We can put this 10mm back in for the brake line. Okay, we'll put these plastic pins back in. Come on. Okay, now I'm just going to put the tire on. We're going to put the nuts back on the top. Okay, now we can put these nuts back on the top here, 15mm. Okay, that's nice and tight now. So that's it for the passenger side. I'm going to do the same exact thing on the driver's side, and it'll be good to go. All right, so I'm going to rock the car up and down and see if the clunking is gone. All right, so no more clunking. Pretty sure Dodge Stratus is pretty much the same exact design, same procedure basically. All right, so I'm on a test drive, and that clunking noise is definitely gone. It was pretty loud before. It sounded like somebody was playing a tambourine in the back seat, and it looks like somebody had removed the top nut in the past without removing the strut and added a whole bunch of metal washers, which made it sound even louder. So that definitely took care of the problem. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button below, and remember, with Fixitphillip, you can fix it. I'll see you next time.